Zodiac in that dark man, cardiac in that heartland. Can a heart land in a clear space with no clear take on what it takes to be a safe space? In the same place where the hate gets irate, can it vacate? Try to vacate where they so fake, they shift shape to their face ache. Give me grace, when I love you through the subtle struggles of this world of trouble. Start to dodge and double when a murky huddle, gonna love you, but we can't cuddle. But I'll hold flow till your soul glows in stereo. Got a whole show where I talk about it, rap about it. Love reigns, no ever daddy. Love reigns, no ever daddy. Love reigns, no ever daddy. Ever daddy, ever daddy.
I wasn't a very social kid, if that makes sense. And I guess being queer made it a lot more difficult, especially after, coming to terms with my identity and how, just how I am. So it wasn't until I got older that I felt more accepted and more at home within my community in Hazard.
Can I get hazelnut cream? Yeah, of course. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'll take orders, make drinks, serve food. I love giving recommendations. Sometimes I like to play around with the syrups and make new combinations for drinks, especially if, the season's changing and we're having a new menu soon. I would love to be an actor, or just work in the theater field. The demand nowadays to move out of Appalachia is much higher. I go to Transylvania up in Lexington. I had to withdraw due to personal and financial issues, and that's why I'm working 2 odd jobs to get some money back to be able to pay and live decently up in Lexington. I think it's more viable right now for me to move away, for the foreseeable future, that is. Just because the expense of living down here is so much higher. There's not a lot of opportunities in what I truly want to do. I have to move off to get the education that I want, thus to pursue the career that I want. The community that I hold dear is it's always going to be in home. It's always going to be in Wattsburg, in Hazard, in Potpool, and that's what kills me the most is being physically separated from him and physically separated from the place where I grew up. I hold a very deep connection to this place. So at some point, yes, I will come back, but it's been hard coming to terms with the fact that I will have to eventually leave.
What a glad thought, some wonderful morning, just to hear Gabriel's trumpet sound. When I wake up to sleep no more, rising to meet our blessed Redeemer, with the glad shout I'll leave the ground. When I wake up to sleep no more, when I wake up
on some bright morning,
to sleep no more,
Jews adore,
how happy I'll be
over in glory,
in heaven's bright shore,
telling the story
with the Redeemed of all the ages, praising the one who I adore. When I wake up to sleep no more. Glory to God, I'll have a new body, change in the twinkling of an eye. When I wake up to sleep no more.
So really, what I'm doing with screening records is just making sure that the quality of the record is good, it sounds great, and that it's able to be played over the radio, meaning no profanity, no nasty stuff, as in bigotry, hate, just nothing you would want to hear in a song while you're listening to the radio. I get to come back here and listen to some really old, like, interesting records. So I have a lot of fun doing it. Which me and Jared have both considered, like, throwing a lot of them away, but we've settled on the belief that some of these records should be preserved. This was stuff that was allowed to be sung about or talked about. This was beliefs that the majority of Americans held at one point. It should still be taught and shown. This one is Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Perry Como and the Satisfiers.
And does that one have any profanity?
It does not. I feel like this is closer to what I want to do in my day-to-day life. Being able to be on the radio and help with PSAs and all that good stuff, it gives me a lot of good experience in, like, voice work and also the technical side. All of the aspects of that, which are really unsung gems in the world of theater. Where I'm an intern, I only get 10 hours a week here. And at the coffee shop, I get anywhere from 15 to 20 a week. Because I go from, like, a really kind of fast-paced, kind of mid-paced environment to here where it's at my own pace.
Anyway, I just need to remind you that these are not our opinions. They're not the opinions of Apple Shop. They're not the opinions of WMT. They're not even the opinions of the Mountain Eagle, the people who run this stuff. So, you know, don't be thinking that we think these things.
We're not allowed to have opinions.
Yeah. We don't have opinions here. We might, but
That's none of your business.
yeah, I'm not running a opinion show. I'm just reading an opinion column.
Right.
Right? So, you shouldn't be wearing stuff that says what it does on it. You're not 21, you're a grandma. And grandmothers shouldn't do stuff you're doing. People don't like it. You need to change your ways.
Trash sure is in full bloom in the ditch lines near Mayking, Sargent, and Thornton. It's sad that people can't put trash in trash cans.
I guess moving away, at least for a short period of time, is the only, or one of the only viable options for me, considering that there's not a lot of educational prospects geared towards my career path in the area. There's not a lot of job opportunities geared towards my intended career path in the area. If I am to continue following what I love, like, it's terrible to say, but I would have to leave home. I would have to leave, the comfort of the community that I have and that I know, which is good. I'm never going to be opposed to leaving and, finding a new start, finding a new community, meeting new people, because that's how you grow as a person, is you leave comfort and you start on your own.
Over here, 1, 2, 3. Still kind of dark. This looks in sunlight. It's the best disinfectant. Look at that view too. It's a highway. So you have a choice of 4 views: Walmart, Food City, highway, or concrete. So currently my occupation is technically hotel housekeeper, but I like to think of myself as a hotel maid. I come to work at around 9 o'clock. There's a lot of stripping laundry, cleaning laundry, a lot of collecting trash, and then you get to the actual staging and setting the room up itself. You have to make beds, fluff pillows, dust, clean mirrors, clean the bathroom, sinks, showers. If I'm in a bad mood, I will tell people that I clean toilets for a living. Working at this hotel has been my first formal job in a very long time, even since a little bit before the pandemic. So for the most part, what I have done is odd jobs, you could say. I do something, get paid for it. Where this area is so isolated, it's hard to get gig economy type work. But there are plenty of people that need things done, and they are odd things, and they will pay you for them. Absolutely, I have not had an easy time finding a job for years. At one point, I had an employment specialist. I had a guy whose job it was to get me a job. And even then, it took the better part of almost 2 years. So some of the difficulties, to be a little bit more specific, I would obviously face, some of the more common discriminations, like people would slur me, people would ignore me or disrespect me. Whenever I was looking for work that was more publicly facing, every now and then somebody would confess to me that they would not want somebody like me representing them. They wouldn't want somebody like me as a trans person representing their business. Which honestly, I think I represent myself very, very well. I don't understand why I would not represent the place I'm working for. And I think this job in particular has been very thankful to have me. I do a lot of good work. I do a lot of things most people don't want to do, and I do them with a smile. Of course, it's difficult when the economy is, in a bit of a more recession type state. Lots of people right now are finding it hard to get work, period. Full-time, part-time, anything. But especially being a queer person in Appalachia, I ran into a lot of resistance from people who disagreed with me on a more personal basis. And that happened quite a lot. It's not an uncommon experience, unfortunately, but it's no less a demoralizing experience. And most people don't believe me when I tell them that I meet friction with random people for seemingly no reason, and it's actually I am the reason. But I will say that times have changed a little bit, and things are a little bit more welcoming. And I know when I got a chance for this job, I absolutely wanted to take that chance, and I've worked very, very hard, and I think I've proven that I deserve the job, certainly. People in Appalachia are very, some might even call it old-fashioned and modern sensibilities, but community and being close to other people it's extremely important to an Appalachian identity, whether you've been born in it, whether you have been born into it or you've adopted it. So why don't you just leave? Well, my family's here, my friends are here. I recognize this place. I know it like the back of my hand. So leaving and starting completely over, that's a luxury that not a lot of people can attain, unfortunately. So finding my identity has been a arduous process, I'll say that much. At this point, I've been fully transitioned for 9 years now. And me being 34, you can do the math. I started my transition at 25. It was it was a lot of hard work to figure out what it was that I was feeling. I didn't have a lot of information on sexuality and gender identity growing up here in Appalachia. So I've encountered a lot of really strange discriminations that most people, they find it pretty shocking when I tell them I've had my license taken away because of a mismatch between records and identity documents about my gender. I've gotten a lot of lost friends, broken friend circles, lots of social trouble. It's happened many times that it seemed like everybody that I used to know abandoned me. So I never was able to have much of a support structure aside from just myself. So being really self-reliant was something I had to learn how to do quickly and competently. Trans people are, we are less than 1% of the population, but a lot of the times it seems like we're 99% of the news cycle. Especially with my community and my pride events and things, one topic I was always very passionate about was trans visibility. I wanted people to see that if I could do it, basically anybody who felt like me could do it as well. But that seems like a solved problem at this point. I don't think trans people need any help anymore with being visible. For the most part, I would say the community goes through seasons. As things are warming up and more people are out and about, you do tend to see that Harlan has it's a colorful place. And especially for our pride events, we would get a feeling that everyone just seemed to materialize out of thin air. We didn't know there were this many queer people in Harlan. Some of them would say, I didn't think you could do something like this here. Some would say, I've had to hide everything my entire life and now it's just out in the open and I can come to this as easily as I can go to the store. One of my formative events as a queer person was the first time I went to a pride event. It was in St. Louis City. Nothing like that had ever even been discussed in Harlan at this point. I had never been anywhere near something like this before. And it changed my entire view of the world. For the first time, I was just running into dozens and dozens of people where I was able to think, they're just like me. I see what they're doing with their life. I see how they're acting. This is me. This is a place that I've never been before, but I've belonged here all along. And being able to do that in a city is a lot easier than being able to do that in the country. I have an interest in making videos on YouTube, being able to speak about my queer experiences as a queer person, my philosophy, my reactions to the world, getting into some of the things that a lot of queer people tend to be a little bit skittish about confronting, simply because I've been at it for a long time and I've been through it and I'm good to talk about it now. Well, it's like I said earlier, trans people are less than 1% of the population, but we seem to be 99% of the news cycle right now. I could probably get that up to 100, I think, is my my intentions in there. Yeah, I found there'd been a birthday party, and the birthday girl had left some of her Barbie stickers, and my name tag didn't have stickers on it, so I fixed that. I have no idea like how much comedy relief you would do, but when I was throwing stuff in my bag last night, I was like, well, I can't wear my actual uniform, but I do have the for funsies one. I wore it April Fool's Day, Halloween. I've told my basically anybody that will listen, it physically pains me to be serious. April 1st rolls around. Well, Samantha has her maid costume on. Halloween, you better believe it's coming out. There is actually an official apron. The only reason I don't have it is because I'd have to work the breakfast shift that starts at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And that's ain't nobody should be up at that time. That's just wrong. That's just wrong.